Welcome back, folks, to another post-game commentary with me, Jake, from Come Hang Out. We're playing Arena today and rocking more free play games with our Domain Zoo deck in Timeless. But yeah, this is a deck against some sort of blue-black list. They're maining the One Ring, and of course Sheoldred. Because that combination of cards is absolutely brutal. Anyway, they crack the bauble, they get the value off the bauble. We draw Minsk and Boo, we play our gardens tapped. Arguably, we could have played the Sacred Foundry untapped and jammed out Ragavan, but generally speaking, we like to get our tap lands into play first, just so we could use them as quickly as possible on the follow-up turns. In hindsight, though, I probably should have played the Ragavan turn 1. We don't get punished for it or anything, really, but just boosting the likelihood of it connecting, as well as potential getting multiple connections with it, is something that will generate you a good bit of advantage, more than you might think. Getting those treasures is real good. Turn 2 Ragavan is, of course, not, like, the worst thing in the world, but, yeah. As far as, like, playing optimally, quote-unquote, we probably should have jammed it out turn 1, I would think. Like, again, in hindsight. Ragavan, as usual, proves that if you don't answer it, you really oughta, if you can. It's definitely a card that demands respect. Generating a treasure on contact each time is real good. As you can see, we also flipped the One Ring, which we debated on playing, but I figured out we'd get Minsk and Boo. Just to put that pressure on. The ring doesn't really do much for us. We don't need the protection on this turn, and, like, yeah, it's a powerful card that can draw me a bunch of cards, but, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's, really proactive to our game plan too much. As opposed to Minsk, who, again, generates that immediate pressure, and, is a thing that needs to be answered in and of himself, otherwise he will take over a game. Unfortunately for us, they do drop a second ring that they managed to pull from the deck. We flipped over one of them, but they had another one. They had another one in the pocket, man. And they play it, which basically meant that we couldn't attack that turn, and now they're going to start drawing a shit zillion cards. That said, they're also going to be losing a little bit of life, at least until the Sheoldred comes down. Fortunately for us, we do have that binding. I was debating on playing the Binding here, but then I realized Lightning Helix does exactly enough to take out the Minsk and Boo, so we can save our Binding for a potentially backbreaking Sheoldred in the future. Whenever I see the One Ring in a deck that's running black, I assume Sheoldred is in there, so we chose to hold off, and it does pay off. We do end up binding the Sheoldred the turn it comes down, which means that we don't get blown away by it. But yeah. We draw a Coddle off the top, and we're tanking for a couple seconds. We choose to pump the Hamster, and I believe swing in with probably just the Hamster this turn, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see in just a second here. Yeah, we swing in just the Hamster. We don't need their Hamster to get in under our Ragavan. Certainly not at this point. There's no need to make that trade. Not when Big Boo over here does the big tramples. So yeah, they're about to play their Sheoldred here, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there it is. There's that big-ass problem. Fortunately, we do have the answer for it. Part of the problem with this deck is that a lot of the removal is burn-focused, but those bindings do make up for that. As you see, Helix would not have taken out the Sheoldred, as it only does 3 damage to its 5 toughness, but the binding is like a catch-all, man. It catches all the things. And the fact that its cost can be reduced so easily in a deck like this, as well as the fact that it has Flash, it's so good. It's just too powerful of a card, man. At least it is in the right kind of deck. But yeah, we're debating on Lightning Helixing there, but we end up not. Our big bald bastard wants to make a Hamster, but we tell him no because we already have one. And they're about to jam out some sort of removal spell on our Hamster. Is it Go for the Throat, or is it the other one? I think it's Go for the Throat. So yeah, they pop our little Hamster. And with this draw, there are two ways we can win. We can bind out their hamster, swing in with Ragavan, and Lightning Helix them. But we decide to bad manners them and play a Wild Nacatl. Attack with the Ragavan, give them a semblance of hope. And then afterwards, I believe, we're going to play a second Wild Nacatl and fling one and then Helix for game. Like, there was no need to overcomplicate that as I did, but I might not have noticed the binding in hand until this recording. Like, that was a line that I probably should have taken. So we overthink that, and we still end up taking it, but it's it was a very silly kind of, you know, suboptimal line that we ended up taking. But yeah, anyway. There it is, folks. Thank you again for joining us on another one of these Arena Quickie things. I've been Jake from Come Hang Out. If you like this stuff, please do not hesitate to give a like, a comment, a subscribe if you're so down to do so. But yeah, we do other video gaming things too, other than Arena. If you're interested in any of that, feel free to check those out too. Thanks. Have a wonderful day, folks.